What's up, Cedric? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? How are you?
I'm great. First of all, I gotta say I'm your biggest fan, man. I'm over here on Twitter with your picture as my profile picture. It's crazy.
I
But
appreciate the love.
so let's hop into it. Let me just ask you the first question. So I wanted to ask because the week before you got evicted, you were the HOH. And there was a big situation with Tucker. He volunteered, then he wanted to have this big plan with Quinn. And then after the plan didn't go through, he kind of went off on you about it. It was a lot going on. So I kind of
Yeah.
wanted to ask, do you feel like that situation affected how you went into the next week and your decision to volunteer on the block and kind of try to be this person to take him out?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely it did. It was kind of like a, hey, I have an opportunity to go kind of settle this beef. Let me go handle it. And worst comes to worst, I have the numbers as well. And it was also like a two-part like loyalty test for T-Core and Chemo because we had the numbers originally. So if they went astray, it gave me a reason to not feel bad when I have to put them on the block next to each other.
Understandable. And I also wanted to ask you about Quinn because when you had gotten the information about Quinn's power, I remember
Yeah.
there's a conversation with you and Cam, and y'all were kind of like, this guy could have exposed, like, this guy could be playing us and he could have kind of exposed us in some way. So, do you feel like you could have handled that situation in a different way to kind of get Quinn more exposed than what he was going into the next week?
Well, I'm greatly appreciative that you remember that conversation. But no, I think I handled it the appropriate way necessary. If I would have forced Quinn to, because you have to remember Quinn was in the Pentagon as well. So as
Mm-hmm.
much as he was my enemy for snaking me, he was still in my final five, like strongest alliance. So we had to bring it up to the Pentagon to navigate that together with the four of us minus Quinn and figure out what the best situation is without the opportunity or time to speak with them before the veto renomination ceremony, it didn't make sense for me to expose him harder.
I wanted
Welcome
to
back.
ask you next about Tor, Kimo, and Joseph
Mm-hmm.
because they were the collective members who voted you out of the game. And I kind of wanted to ask, considering the fact that Quinn did inform them about the Pentagon and they knew they weren't included in the core, do you think it made sense for their games to make the decision they did? And really specifically Joseph, because you kind of touched on Tor and Chemo as well, but all three of them, do you think it made sense?
I think the only one that benefited out of this situation is Joseph. Now, T-Core and Chemo, like I kind of addressed, I don't feel like it was the best decision for their personal game, but I also am mature enough to realize that they thought it was the best decision. And in the time, in the week, it might have seemed like the best decision, but when you weigh everything on a long-term scale is when it starts to fade. But I think that T4 and Chemo playing the game super passively in the start has kind of led them to, and I could be completely wrong, has kind of led them to not fit in the top molding of what's going to happen on the eviction standings. So I would say like T-Core and Chemo probably go out like fourth. Um, from the fourth, like there's four people left, like fourth and fifth,
Mm-hmm.
or right where the collective was going to cut them at whatever, like the first few people in jury. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think is what's going to ultimately happen to all of them. But Joseph really benefited from their big game move.
Okay. Speaking of benefited from the game move, who do you feel like has the top three best games currently in the house right now?
I think Chelsea has a really strong game going. Joseph has a really strong game going. The third one is a swing. I don't know. I think Rabina, honestly.
Oh,
Rabina, yeah, because Rabina's really close with Tucker, but I don't oh well, maybe MJ. Or I lied, Leah. Leah. Leah's the other answer. Yeah, Chelsea, Joseph, and Leah are probably the three best people playing the game right now.
yeah, you know what? I think I got the same answer for that.
Yeah.
So that's good. Okay, just to close it off, I kind of want to ask because you wore your emotions on your sleeve throughout the game. So, what's something that you want the fans and the viewers to take away from your gameplay or just your time in the house?
I would really like to share the fact that if you're a bright light and if your light brights the paths of people around you. That like if you take your light and it brights the path to the person to your right, and everybody does that, the world becomes a brighter place. So positivity is 100% the solution to everybody's problems, no matter how dim things may seem. You always have a light that you can choose to bring out. And I hope people see my gameplay and see my eviction and realize that's the case. And I love every one of you. Thank you to all my fans and my friends. My fans are my friends for all the love and support.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. Okay, that was really no, that was really good. Y'all hear
Thank,
it here. Positivity, everybody. Cedric, thank you so much for speaking to me. It was great.
thank you. It was a pleasure.
Later.
Have a great day.